Okay, this is your next IXL section on areas of composite figures. So a couple little techniques on here. We're going to draw some lines. So we're going to separate this out into shapes. Now there's lots of ways of doing these, okay? But I try to take a look at them first and kind of come up with the least amount of shapes as possible. So in this case, I'm going to draw a line down to, right here. Let me undo that. Apparently I can't draw a line. I'm going to draw a line from here down to touch right there. And then I'm also going to draw a line from right here up to there. Okay? And then what I like to do is, you don't have to do this, but I think on anything like this, these tend to be problems like SAT problems, so I think it's good to come up with a technique for these. I tend to number the shapes or put letters or something. So if this is shape 1, this is shape 2, and this is shape 3, all right, that would kind of just organize them for me, organize my work a little bit over here on the side, okay? So over here on shape 1, I have this side is 3, this side is 3. It's a square, so the area there is 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. So that should be self-explanatory. Then shape 2. You got to do a little bit of math. You know the end here is 2, so I know one side of it is 2. And the other side is 6, right? So this piece here that I'm drawing up is 6. And then this piece right here is 2. How do I know that? Because this is 2, therefore that has to be 2. So 6 plus 2 would be 8. So the length of that one is 8. Multiply those together and I get 16. And then shape 3, we know is a 3 by 2 rectangle, right? We have one side is 3, the other side is 2. All right, and we have a 3 by 2 rectangle, which is equal to 6. We add them all up. We get 9 and 16 is 25, plus 6 is 31 square millimeters, or 31 millimeters squared. And that would be your answer. Okay, so that's a pretty straightforward one. You get a little harder. Okay, you come down here, and let me try and draw straighter lines here. So we've got, we can't just assume that this is going to drop straight down. So we want to try to prove that. We know this top piece here is 5. And we know this piece is 2, and we know this piece is 2. So 5 plus 2 plus 2 is 9, and we know the bottom is 9, right? So now we know that this piece here of 5 actually comes right to this point here, so we can drop a line down. All right, so I'm going to drop a line down right here. I don't know why it's not letting me do a straight line down. There we go, right about there. All right, and then you could break out your rectangles across, okay? Or you can break them the long way, all right? So it really doesn't matter unless you get stuck and you can't figure one out, and then maybe go back and break it out a different way. But I'm going to break this down into those rectangles. Whoa, that was terrible. Last one right here. To about there. Okay, you get the picture, I hope. All right, so now we have a shape here 1, we have a shape here 2, we have a shape 3, and we have a shape 4. So I'm going to write a 1, 2, 3, 4 over here on the side, and let's calculate some areas. Okay, so the area in the first is going to be a triangle, which is 1/2 of the base, which we know is 6, times the height, which we have to calculate, right? So we look at the first piece from here to here is 7, plus this piece here is 2. Okay, so we have 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 5 is 14. But then I have to subtract this 2. So my height is actually 12. Okay, so 1/2 of 6 is 3, times 12 is 36. All right, now shape 2 is a rectangle. So we know one side of the rectangle is 5. And I already figured out the other one was 14, but I'll just go over how I get it. That side is 5. Then this little piece here would be 2. Then this little piece here would be 5. So 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 5 is 14. Okay, so now that, multiply those together, and I get 70. And then I'm just going to erase these numbers so we don't get confused. And it looks like I erased my line right there. That's not great, but we'll go with it. And then shape 3 is going to be a 2. And then the height of that rectangle is 7. So that's 14. And the last one, 4, is a height of 2 times, or a base of 2 times the side of 5, which is 10. Add those all up, and we get 106. 106 plus 14 is 120, plus 10 is 130 kilometers squared, or square kilometers. And that would be your answer. Okay, moving along, they get a little trickier. Okay, we want to know the area of this figure. So I'm going to try and freehand this. We have a semicircle right, whoa. We have a semicircle right here. All right, and then maybe I'll break it down into a rectangle there and there. We'll call this shape 1. We'll call that shape 2. We'll call that shape 3. 1, 2, 3. And notice down here it says write your answers using decimals, using 3.14 for pi. Okay, so let's do the semicircle first. We know the area of a circle is pi r squared. Right? And we also know that we're dealing with a fourth of a circle. So there's the formula, right? I'm going to take the area of that full circle, and I'm going to divide it by 4. So I know that is equal to pi times my radius of 6 squared over 4, which is equal to 36 pi over 4, which is equal to 9 pi. Okay? And then down here for number 2, we have a side of 12. And we know the bottom of that rectangle all the way across right here is 7. So we have a 12 by 7 rectangle, which we know is 84. And lastly, we have a 2 by 5 rectangle right here, 2 by 5, right, in rectangle number 3, and that's equal to 10. Okay, so you're going to get a calculator out, all right, and I'm not sure from the IXL, it might say over on there what it says to round to. We'll go with the 10th place. So if we multiply 9 times pi, we get 28.26, which I'm going to round to 28.3. If they say to round to the 100th, then obviously you would leave it like this. Okay, so we take 28.3, and then we just add to that 84, and then we add to that 10, and we get 122. So I'm adding this, this, and this, and I get 122.3 centimeters squared, and that would be my answer. Okay, hope that makes sense. And I have, I think, one more for you. All right, and maybe we don't need to do this one out, but I'll just help you kind of set it up. Like I said, there's lots of ways of doing these, but I would probably draw a line across there and call that shape 1. Probably draw a line across there and call that shape 2. A line across there and a line across there. Maybe we'll call that 3, and we'll call that 4. Oh, I forgot one. We'll call the big rectangle 5. Okay. So then you're going to list them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So 1. All right. We have to find out what this is right here, and that's probably the challenge here. So we know that the total length of this, right, is 6 plus 8 plus the question mark. So it's 14 plus my question mark. And I have to figure out, if I knew what the total was, right, then I could subtract 14 from the total. Well, down here, I know that I have 4 and I have 9. So I need to find out this right here. That's a horrible parenthesis. But if I could find out that piece there, I could add it to the 4 and 9, right? Well, I know this is 4 and this is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So therefore, that side has to be 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. And 11 plus 9 is 20. So I know this distance right here is 20, which means this here has to be 14 minus 20, which is equal to 6. All right, so on that one area, we have 1/2 of 6 times 4. Okay, let me erase some of those things so I don't confuse us. All right, erase that, and now we'll leave that 6 in there. Okay, and then shape number 2 would be this rectangle, which we know is 7 by 7, right? So number 2 is 7 by 7. Number 3 is 4 by 4. Number 4 is half of a circle. The area of the circle is pi r squared. We know the radius of that is 2. And then we're going to divide that by 2 because we're looking for half the circle. And lastly, 5 is the big rectangle, which we know one side is 9. And we already figured out that the total of it was 20. So if we do that math out, we have half of 6 is 3 times 4 is 12. This is 49. This is 16. This is 4 pi divided by 2, which is just going to be equal to 2 pi. This is going to be equal to 180. Add all these up, use 3.14 for pi, and multiply by 2, and you'll get your answer. All right, so I hope that helps. It might just be a little confusing on setting it up, especially because you might not be able to draw on it like I can. So do your best with that. Maybe screenshot it if it's real confusing and put it into a paint program, and you could do what I'm doing here. I don't know, do your best to sketch it out on paper. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.